Hello, everyone. Today we are going to talk about a comedy film called Swept Away from 2002. A lot of interesting things are waiting for you. Several wealthy couples are going to spend their vacation together on a ship sailing from Greece to Italy. Already in the port, it becomes clear that for the New York women, the ship on which the company is traveling is too simple and poor, and they do not hesitate to speak out. Amber, a blonde woman of Balzac's age and the wife of Tony, the founder of a large pharmaceutical company, is particularly vocal in her dissatisfaction. Giuseppe, a young sailor, is assigned to escort Amber to her cabin, and he is immediately confronted with her arrogance and rudeness when she discovers that the promised gym is a portable exercise machine and a jump rope. She lets out a wild scream, promising to punish the whole team. Pepe is struggling to keep from telling the arrogant woman what he thinks of her, but the captain doesn't share the sailor's irritation. The amount they will be paid for this trip, in his opinion, can cover any inconvenience. Therefore, the elderly man never tires of bowing and showering rich customers with compliments. The travelers are relaxing on the top deck of the ship and talking about the moral and ethical side of the pharmaceutical business. Amber unabashedly says that no one is obliged to take care of people with serious health problems, and it is only their responsibility to provide themselves with treatment. Giuseppe tries not to show it, but he is shaken by such conversations. The woman also speaks disrespectfully to the sailor, distorting his name and demanding that he bring her water. Amber continues to harass the guy throughout the journey, calling him offensive names and constantly reminding him that she is paying for all his services. Pepe tries to keep his cool, although his mind is already filled with fantasies about how to get back at the arrogant client for her language and behavior. After another loud party, Amber wakes up to find all her friends sailing away in boats to see the caves. She demands that Pepe immediately prepare a boat for her and take her to the others. The guy warns the American several times that it's too late. This idea can be dangerous, but because of her stupidity and desire to further suppress the sailor, Amber does not tolerate objections. Giuseppe obeys the order, and the boat with him and the arrogant blonde goes out to sea. When he got a decent distance away from the ship, he heard a knock, and in an instant, the motor stopped. Amber continued her harsh remarks, demanding that the boat be started immediately, but this time Giuseppe could not do anything even if he wanted to. The boat was being carried away by the current, night was falling, and the American woman's mood was changing dramatically. Frozen, she nevertheless puts on a sweater that smells like fish, which seemed impossible to her the day before, and begins to address Pepe with respect, without distorting his name. In the boat, the woman finds a rocket launcher, and the couple has a chance to assert themselves. But when the time comes to take advantage of this chance, when a yacht comes into view, Amber puts on her best behavior and tries to prove her leadership. She punctures one of the boat's 2 cylinders. In the evening, a thunderstorm and storm begin. The couple holds on to the remains of the boat while halfway in the water, but fortunately, land soon appears on the horizon. Once ashore, Amber again tries to command and intimidate the sailor with her lawyers. Pepe is in no hurry to listen to the lady, deciding to look around first. When it turns out that the island is uninhabited, the guy gets a great opportunity to take revenge on her for all the humiliation he has suffered in recent days. Pepe wastes no time in collecting the garbage that throws out of the ocean and uses it to create the things he needs. Amber just wanders around the island, not knowing what to do next. After catching a fish, the boy cooks it over a fire and eats it with appetite, watching the girl look enviously in his direction. Amber first tries to intimidate the sailor and then begs him for half of the fish, offering a huge amount of money. But Pepe is unyielding, accusing the woman of rudeness. He offers her to earn her share of the fish in another way, to become his maid. Amber is outraged, but she has no choice but to accept the terms. She washes all of the boy's clothes, including his underwear, and addresses him as nothing less than a master. But even after that, Pepe is in no hurry to treat the slave to the spoils. The sailor finds a small shed on the island that once served as a shelter for those stranded on the island. Amber is happy to finally spend the night not outdoors, but the door slams in her face and she sleeps on the ground again, wrapped in a fish-scented sweater. Days pass, but no one shows up to search for the missing. The couple tries to have dinner, but Pepe continues to discipline his spoiled girlfriend, sometimes going overboard. It gets to the point where the guy asks Amber to dance to music. On the next day of the pair's quarrel, Pepe tries to physically take possession of Amber, but at the last moment, when she stops resisting, the guy leaves her alone. He promises that she will soon fall in love with him and beg him to pay attention to her. This happens almost instantly. After spending some time alone, the woman approaches the sailor and sits down at his feet. Passion flares up between them with all its consequences, and life on the island ceases to be so boring and monotonous. Amber gets used to the new way of life and easily manages the household, cleaning fish and cooking over the fire. One day, while collecting firewood, she notices a yacht not far from the shore. At first, Amber is going to scream, but abruptly changes her mind, hides behind a rock, and the yacht sails away without noticing the people. Around the evening campfire, she does not tell Pepe what happened, but starts talking about how she feels happy for the first time, although she realizes that if he had a choice, he would have paid better attention to a younger girl. The lovers spend a few more happy days on the island until a yacht appears in the bay again, and this time Pepe notices it. The woman asks her friend to hide and not return to the big world because she is afraid that their relationship will end there. But the guy does not agree to this, and besides, he would like Amber to prove her love to him, not only with words but also with actions, making a choice between him and a husband. Finding herself on a yacht with people as rich as herself, Amber is reluctant to answer the tourists' questions. When the ship arrives at the port, they are met by Tony, the woman's husband, who has not lost hope all this time. The man thanks the sailor for saving his wife, holding Amber to him with one hand. Unable to bear the tension, Pepe silently leaves, refusing the expensive hotel room he was given as a sign of gratitude for his deed. He sits at a bar with a glass of alcohol. The lawyer of the rescued woman approaches him and hands him a large bag full of money as a thank you from Amber's family. Pepe pushes the lawyer out of the bar, but takes the money and buys the most expensive ring with a huge stone. After that, he calls the hotel where Amber is staying and confesses his feelings to her, to which the woman reciprocates, but quickly interrupts the conversation when she hears that her husband is nearby. Amber asks the boyfriend to decide how their relationship will develop further, and to write her a note, leaving it with the hotel receptionist. Pepe indicates in the note the address in the port behind the ship, where he will wait for his beloved to set off with her to a new life. The sailor leaves the note, as agreed, warning the receptionist that under no circumstances should anyone but Amber herself see it. But Tony notices something wrong in his wife's behavior and does not leave her side for a minute. When the woman asks if there is a letter for her, her husband immediately appears behind her back, and the receptionist does not dare to give her a note, handing her only some unimportant envelope. Amber goes to her room to pack her bags for her return to New York, still hoping that Pepe will show up for her at the last minute. Tony remains in the hotel lobby. Seeing that his wife has disappeared, he intercepts the letter and boards the helicopter with Amber, which is about to take off. The man passes a tip to the guy who helps load the bags through his wife, and the woman doesn't even notice that she is handing over an envelope with the pier address. The guy hands Pepe a letter stating that their relationship is over, allegedly on behalf of the woman. Giuseppe runs to the runway, hoping to make it in time, but the helicopter is rising higher and higher, and inside is a crying woman who never dared to change her life. Shouting her name, Pepe throws the engagement ring, which sinks to the bottom of the ocean, never to please the person it was meant for. If you have watched the video so far, you should know that I'm happy to have viewers like you. Thank you for watching to the end. Subscribe to the channel and follow the news. OLEJA Recapped was with you. See you soon.